Daniel Dubois absolutely destroys Fabio Wardley to become the new WBO World Champion. Wow, what a fight. What a result for Daniel Dubois. What a performance. My goodness, what a great fight that was. Heavyweight division is the blue ribbon division of boxing. And this is why we love heavyweight boxing. Like, going into this fight, you could not predict exactly who was going to win this fight because both fighters have their weaknesses and they have their positives. But it felt like Daniel Dubois has more positives than weakness compared to Fabio Wardley. And that's exactly what we saw in this fight. And as you can see, my scorecard there, I gave Daniel Dubois every single round from round 4 onwards. And that's exactly the way this fight panned out to be. It was just an end-to-end, blow for blow. You know, it was a great fight. It was a war. If you paid to watch this fight, you got your money's worth. This was pay-per-view worthy. This is heavyweight boxing at its pinnacle. This is heavyweight boxing where you know exactly what you're going to get. Both fighters are going to come in there, they're going to throw bombs, and you're going to get some knockdowns and some really good action. And that's exactly what we got in this fight. Not the most incredibly technical fight, but you don't expect that in the heavyweight division. In the heavyweight division, you're expecting knockdowns, you're expecting knockouts, you're expecting big shots being thrown, and you're expecting fighters to look like they are done and they are hurt. And that's exactly what we saw in both fighters tonight. But look, let's start from round 1. In round 1, Fabio Wardley lands a big overhand right in the first 5 seconds. In the first 5 seconds, Fabio Wardley gets in there and he lands a big shot on Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois gets on his knee and he gets up after 7 count. Like, that was unexpected. I did not expect Daniel Dubois to get on his knee in the first round, but Fabio Wardley timed that perfectly. He throws that overhand right and he hits Daniel Dubois on the equilibrium, and you could see that Daniel Dubois was not really hurt. He was just caught flush. He was just caught cold because it's just the first 5 seconds of round 1, and Dubois got up. And in that round, Dubois actually did well to make sure that he doesn't get knocked down again. And then in round 2, Fabio Wardley goes in again, tried to knock Daniel Dubois. But one thing that Fabio Wardley kept doing was he kept swinging and winging his shot. Like, because he got that success in round 1 with the overhand right, Fabio Wardley kept swinging and winging the shot and he kept missing. So in round 2, Daniel Dubois took control of the fight and he started landing his jab. And although the jab was not very consistent, as it was in a few rounds later on, Daniel Dubois started coming into the fight. And it looked like Dubois started to establish his boxing ability in this fight. And then Daniel Dubois took that round. For me, round 2, Daniel Dubois took it because he came into that fight. He landed some really good shots. Fabio Wardley just kept missing. He kept swinging. And it just didn't look like Fabio Wardley had any other game plan apart from trying to land a big shot to stop Daniel Dubois. And then round number 3. And as you can see there, that was also a 10-8 round. Daniel Dubois, once again, on the canvas in round 3. And once again, that was from a big right hand from Fabio Wardley. Daniel Dubois went on his knee, and once again, he got up by the 7th count. So at this point, I am thinking Daniel Dubois might be done here. Like, we've seen this movie so many times where Daniel Dubois goes on his knees and it is difficult for him to get up. So I was thinking Daniel Dubois might be done. This might be the end of the fight. And if Fabio Wardley could land another big shot, then that could be the end of it. However, Daniel Dubois showed something that he hasn't shown in a long time, and that is heart. That is determination. That is belief in himself. That is a never give up mentality. A mentality that he hasn't really shown much in his career. Daniel Dubois got on his knee the second time, but this time around, he got up. Daniel Dubois got up in the 3rd round, and that is when this fight changed forever. After Daniel Dubois got up in the 3rd round, Dubois' demeanor, his confidence got up. In round 4, Daniel Dubois did something that he's really good at, and that is establishing his jab. In round 4, Daniel Dubois established that jab and he controlled the fight from there on. And as you can see on my scorecard, from round 4 onwards, Daniel Dubois won every single round until round 11, where Fabio Wardley got stopped. That was an incredible performance from Daniel Dubois because he showed heart. He showed a lot of, courage. He showed a lot of determination to stay in there. Although he's been knocked down in round 1 and in round 2, Daniel Dubois still showed that he can compete. And then from round 4 onwards, as I said, Daniel Dubois started coming into this fight. He was controlling the fight behind his jab. He was landing some really big shots. Fabio Wardley also showed a lot of heart. He showed incredible chin. Fabio Wardley took some big shots there. Round 5, once again, Daniel Dubois goes on the ascendancy. He started landing the jab. He started landing big shots. He pushed Fabio Wardley back. Fabio Wardley, after the 3rd round, Fabio Wardley fought this fight on a back foot on the ropes, where Daniel Dubois kept landing big shots after big shots after big shots. And Fabio Wardley just did not have any idea how to overcome the pressure, the pace that Daniel Dubois was setting, the jab, the foot movement that Daniel Dubois was doing. And Fabio Wardley once again looked like fish out of water. And this is not the first time that we're seeing Fabio Wardley look like fish out of water. We saw that in the Fraser Clark fight in certain moments. We saw that in the Justice Hooney fight where he got outboxed in every single round and then landed that big shot. And then we saw that in the Joseph Parker fight where in many of that rounds he got outboxed and basically outthought and outfoxed there. Fabio Wardley made the same mistakes again and again and again. And you can think of that as Fabio Wardley not being someone that is well schooled in terms of his boxing ability, his ability to keep the fight in range, his ability to not wing shots, but throw the shot straight. And Fabio Wardley was making a lot of mistakes. In round 5, Daniel Dubois goes on the attack again and basically breaks Fabio Wardley's nose. And this is where the beginning of the end started. I said it in my pre-fight breakdown. I said that there were similarities and differences between Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley. And one thing that I said that was the difference between those fighters is that Daniel Dubois is just slightly the better boxer out of the two. And that's exactly what we saw from round 4, round 5, round 6, and round 7 onwards. Daniel Dubois showed that he's the better boxer. What did he do? He stayed behind his jab. His footwork was really good. He was patient in there. He was controlling the fight. And Fabio Wardley just did not know how to overcome the jab, the pressure, the ability for Daniel Dubois to stay in there, stay composed. And Daniel Dubois' corner, Don Charles, they did a really good job because after Daniel Dubois was knocked down, they tried to get Daniel Dubois back into the fight again. And that's exactly what we saw. Daniel Dubois controlled the fight from round 6 onwards. Round 7, Dubois just busted Fabio Wardley up. Fabio Wardley looked like a bloody mess. Fabio Wardley was bleeding all over the place. They had to get the corner to look at it. They had to get the referee to look at it. They had to get the doctor to look at Fabio Wardley's face looking all bloody mess. And at some point, you're thinking to yourself, someone needs to stop this fight and save Fabio Wardley to fight another day. And maybe Fabio Wardley's corner did him a disservice because they could have stopped this fight earlier on. I think it's going to be a conversation that is going to be had in the boxing world after this fight because Fabio Wardley took a lot of punishment for Daniel Dubois. Fabio Wardley took a lot of punishment and that fight should have been stopped earlier than it was stopped in round 11. The referee should have stopped that fight, or Fabio Wardley's corner should have took him out of that fight because he was taking a lot of punishment. And maybe the doctor should have advised the referee to stop that fight because that was a brutal beatdown that he took. Daniel Dubois absolutely beat Fabio Wardley from pillar to post. And the difference between this fight and any other fight that Fabio Wardley has had at the top level is that Daniel Dubois has power. Joseph Parker does not have the power that Daniel Dubois has. Justice Hooney does not have the power that Daniel Dubois has. And Fraser Clark certainly does not have the power that Daniel Dubois possesses. So the difference between all those fights and this fight is that Daniel Dubois' power took a lot of damage on Fabio Wardley's body. Like Fabio Wardley was visibly done. He was hurt. You know, he was brave. Credit to Fabio Wardley. He took a lot of shots in there. He kept getting up and coming again and again and again. But he was too brave for his own good. And as I said, his corner should have taken him out. But Daniel Dubois' power was the difference in this fight. Daniel Dubois' boxing ability was the difference in this fight. Because if both fighters were not good boxers, or if they were, on the same level in terms of, boxing ability, then Fabio Wardley would have had more success. But because Daniel Dubois knows how to use his jab, knows how to control the distance, Fabio Wardley kept missing, he kept swinging, and he just looked like a bloody mess. He was just exposed in there. He just looked like a novice. That's what Fabio Wardley looks like in there. He looked like a puncher that only had a punch and nothing else in that fight. And that's exactly how Daniel Dubois was able to destroy and demolish Fabio Wardley to become the new WBO World Champion. Guys, get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about this fight. What was your prediction before the fight? I predicted that Daniel Dubois would win this fight between round 7 and round 10. And I was wrong. Daniel Dubois won this fight in round 11 when the referee has seen enough, he's had enough, and he stopped this fight. But that was a great fight. That was a very competitive fight. That was a fight that if you paid for it, you got your money's worth, because this is heavyweight boxing. This is what we want to see. Two big guys go in there, throw a leather, throw big punches, throw big shots, and we just want to see jeopardy. We just want to see, fighters get knocked down and get knocked out. This is heavyweight boxing, and that's exactly what we saw. Get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about Daniel Dubois demolishing Fabio Wardley to become the new WBO World Champion.